It's a good tune, that, isn't it? It's not too bad, is it? Ben's frozen already. How are we all? Another Thursday. Killer.
Let's get ready to rumble. Yeah, I'm okay.
How are
you?
Good. I'm all right. I'm over my sunburn. I've gone 50 Shades of Pink now, so I'm not too bad. I'm just merging into Tom's t-shirt, so it's not too bad. I'm all right.
Nice.
Well, to be honest, Charlie, that looks like it's not changed at all Monday.
No, it a little bit. I put a bit of sunflower oil on it just to see if it went in, and it just made it worse.
It's crispy.
Yeah. So how's everyone's week been?
One way to open the show, giving everyone the visual image of you rubbing oil on yourself.
Well, you know what?
It worked for me, to be honest.
This is the show that keeps on giving. It's the show that keeps on giving. Talking about giving, let's have a shout out in the chat. We've got Firehawk2069. Hello. Evening. We got the one and only Poptimist. What's up, mate? We have Not Quite Mint. Firehawk, what's up, my brother? We have, who else we got? We got Evening, take a seat. We will be with you shortly. Yes, we will. Everyone's favourite noob. Evening, folks. Hope everyone is good. Yeah, all good here. A little bit sunburned, but you know. Ding, ding. Mr. Chris Bell, good evening. I've actually made it for once. Thank you for joining us, mate. I know you try every week, and finally you've actually gone ahead and done it. Triple G. Now, before we get started.
Speak of the devil. Speak of the devil.
My God. Triple G, you absolutely killed it. Return of the Mac. Whoop, whoop. Smashed it, dude. Absolutely smashed it.
Reaction video.
Honestly feel like if you're trying to get off drugs and you want to have the feeling of taking drugs without actually taking them, just watch Triple G's latest video. Triple
G, Return of the Miles. Absolutely fucking awesome. Loved it, mate. Really enjoyed it. And what we got? I think that's everyone. Oh, of course, it is Mr. Copy 801. What up, dear sir? At Not Quite Mint. Now, just a shout out to Copy 801. Us four misfits. Sorry, I say this every week, don't I? There's four of us. I should learn to count.
Because I haven't been here for a few weeks, mate. You just keep forgetting I'm here.
Us four misfits will be.
Come off it, Tom.
Here we go. Let me get my little violin. Us four misfits will be on his show tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern or Pacific, but it's 9:30 in the UK. So catch us over there. We'll be talking about comics in the UK, comics in the US, and what's the difference and stuff. But yeah, check it out. Good to sit down with our brothers from across the pond and talk comics. It's what we love to do.
What's the difference? Shipping cost.
What is the difference? But
customs.
Well, that will be the discussion tomorrow.
Yes, sure. Find out tomorrow.
It will be
channel.
As entertaining as ever. I just hope that Copy is truly braced himself for our rumble.
Oh, Fuzzy's here, our favourite tennis ball, Mr. Fuzzy Dunlop. What's happening, peoples? Yes, indeed. How do Fuzz? But it's been, I would say it's been another good week for comics. Anyone else got any other feelings? I know last week we smashed it out of the park.
Super duper week, specifically for indie books, which I was really happy about. Marvel books, not so much, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Well, as we are about to get into it, let's just jump straight in with...
I disagree with that guy, can I just say?
Join the queue. Ben.
When do we not? But this was Tom, House on the Lake.
Yeah.
Now, there was about 15 covers out this week. I'm just going to breeze through them. We had the main cover by Alvaro Martinez Bueno. Cover B by Martin Simmons. We had the Wade Comic Madness exclusive variant. We had the T4 exclusive variant, the Wanted Comics exclusive set cover A, and there was a set cover B as well. We had State of Comics exclusive variant. Tom's obviously gone off to get some of the covers that he's got because it's probably coming up. We've got the Comic Kingdom Carla Cohen set cover A. There was a set cover B, and it is the John Jiang variant A. There was a variant B, and there was a variant C, and all of them are available over at notquitemint.com. So make sure you do check them out. Did they?
They came in today, yeah.
Talk about the stars aligning, eh? We've got the Ken Lashley variant A, and there was a variant B. and we had the Megan Hutchinson Cates exclusive variant A, the Sanctum Sanctorum Comics exclusive hack variant, and the 1 in 25 incentive variant. Now, Tom, this was your comic of the week. What did you think of it, mate?
Oh, mate, you know what? I'm not massive. I think I've said this a few times. I'm not massively into horror comics, but I do like James Tynion, and I like his writing. I've enjoyed Something to Kill the Children, so I got a little bit hyped about this one. Although it's a DC, I think it's a Black Label book. I didn't expect it to be, as good as it was, to be perfectly honest. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really well written. The whole premise behind it, like the fact that they're these people that have kind of know each other but don't really know each other, and they all get in this one house because they know this one dude who is creepy as hell. It is really quite a cool thing. We doing spoilers? Not doing spoilers, are we?
We're trying not to. I mean, if there's anyone in the chat that is reading this or looking forward to read this and hasn't read it yet, put us on mute for a couple of minutes, but stay in the chat because we need your views. But yeah, just go for it.
Well, no, I'll try not to say too much about it. But this one, for me, kind of like it started off well, and then it built and built and built, and then the way it ends, almost like you just got punched in the face. Do you know what I mean? It just felt so good as a book, and I just thought it was all round a really good read. And this is actually probably my pick of the entire week. All books I've read so far. I mean, I've still got a few to read, but I don't know if it's going to match this. I really enjoyed it.
Before I'm just kind of shocked. I'm just one thing. Mr. Butler has joined. Evening, gents. Will there be any Haagen-Dazs on the go tonight?
Ooh,
Ben. Must be a fan of yours.
I'm really sorry to let my fans down, but I actually had a biscotti ice cream earlier, and I'm in quite a bad way, so no Haagen-Dazs tonight, I'm afraid. I'm having to take some time off the dairy.
Sorry, Mr. Butler, and also thanks for the sub earlier. Thank you so much for that. But Andy,
that's it. He only came to watch an overweight man eat ice cream.
But that was it. Andy, what did you think of this, mate?
That'll be our first thumbs down.
You will.
No Haagen-Dazs. I did enjoy it. I thought it was good. I guess this one had a lot of expectation with it. It had sort of been built up to something quite huge, especially because is it Tynion? Is that how we pronounce it these days?
Tynion.
He was obviously writing it. It was a solid read. I'm not entirely sure that it met my expectations just because they were so high. And I think it would be really interesting that this book might be one of those books where it's actually better to read as 12 issues together.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good read. Was it my pick of the week? We're actually not reviewed my pick of the week this week, but that's another story. Or my read of the week, I should say. But yeah, no, solid read. And I'm glad that Tom picked it because good work, Tom.
Yeah.
Less could be said about Ben's pick, I guess, but we'll get to that.
Ben?
For me, this was about solid as jelly.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Really?
I was excited as well because obviously I'm like fully on board that Something That's Killing Children hype train, choo choo. But I just and again I don't know whether maybe I need to. The thing with these horror books is that they're so intense that I think sometimes, especially for us guys, we're trying to kind of read as much as we can in a short amount of time so that we're giving the people what they want on a Thursday night. And I think sometimes those books you kind of really need to be in a kind of certain place, like and at a certain time and in a certain mindset. Because for me, I came out of it, I thought it was really jarring at the beginning. I thought it was like far too wordy and that the panels were just so busy and there was like a real lack of focus point. I found like nearly all of the characters irritating.
Really?
I didn't like the Hickman style emails and it was like I think there was a news report or something like that. Like it
did bring back bad memories of X of Swords, mate.
It did. I did have some X of Swords flashbacks. Yeah.
This is what happens when Ben doesn't have his Haagen-Dazs. This is angry Ben.
This is negative, Ben. We need to get some Haagen-Dazs, please.
I just found
Hello?
it confusing. For me, guys, it's a binner.
Okay. So we've had a killer, and a binner so far. I've got to say it was a killer.
What did you think, Charlie? What did you think?
I've got to say it was a killer. Like the premise of the story and the covers look great. It looks like it's haunted and everything. It looks like it's a haunted house and stuff like that. I didn't see it coming as it did. I didn't see it happening, but I thought it was a welcomed twist, to be fair, because like we've all had like what is it? I Know What You Did Last Summer, Cabin in the Woods. There's reminiscences of that in this comic, but then the twist out of nowhere just kind of honestly, I thought it was a really good read. I'm not going to say it was a killer. I'm not going to say it was a binner, sorry. It was a killer, and there are points in it where you're thinking, right, just get over, like, just move on a bit, just move a bit faster. But it is a 12-parter. I think there's a few nicks to iron out and stuff, but I think it's got the premise of being a great story, to be fair. I do agree with Andy that I think this is going to be better read as a trade because, as Ben said, with the emails and stuff and trying to have a look in and keep thinking about like the different characters and where they've come from and what's going on and etc. etc. But I definitely think they're onto a winner here, and there's always going to be big hype around it because of James Tynion with Something's Killing the Children, his Batman run, and stuff like that. But I enjoyed it. Like it was a good solid read. There's nothing to scream about, but I'd definitely say it's a killer, not a binner.
Yeah. The only one, actually, to be fair, going back thinking about it, my only criticism of the whole thing might be that they did pull the trigger a little bit early on the surprise.
Bang, bang.
Yeah. Issue. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Build up the suspense.
Yeah.
Because Charlie you were saying, Charlie, that you wanted it to go faster. I was the opposite. I kind of wanted it to strip back more, and kind of,
Did you want
give a little bit more time to kind of build atmosphere and to appreciate, the kind of environment they're in, because it's all very creepy. The covers, as you say, are beautiful, and I don't disagree with that. But I just, it's just a lot.
I think Chris Bell,
tiny little mind.
Might be. I think Chris Bell said it on the head. He said, if it's very text heavy, it'd be a binner for me. And I think Tynion kind of seems to do that quite a lot. He'll be onto something good, and then he just overloads it with the text.
Which he hasn't done with Something's Killing the Children.
No.
But he has
with Batman every week.
With Batman, yeah.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
So okay, so it was a killer. It's 3-1. I'm so sorry, Ben, but yeah, it was a killer. It seems to be pretty equal in the chat, to be fair, as well. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think it's going to be a good horror comic, though. To be fair, I don't think it's going to be up to the standards of Something Is Killing the Children, because that's a whole nother ball game. That's a whole different level.
See, I think that's the problem he was up against, is the fact that there's going to be a direct comparison to that other book. But I think if you read this in isolation, I think you'll really enjoy this if you haven't read Something Is Killing the Children.
Yeah, agree.
But for Ben, will you read this you too?
No, I'm out. For me, I was comparing its friends of the show, Sea of Sorrows, as a horror kind of atmospheric book, and I just felt like that got it right.
To be fair, this cover is quite like that. To be fair,
yeah,
and I love like the whole like House by the Lake. As a Friday the 13th fan, like I love everything that kind of lends itself to. But no, it just and interestingly, it had a similarity to Basilisk, which we'll talk about shortly. So I'll come back to that. But there was a similarity that I think Basilisk did better in the way that it delivered.
Yeah, I mean, Firehawk said it. Didn't read. No trip to the LCS this week. And he says Donny Cates' wife is quite the artist. She actually is. Like, she's creeping. She's slowly creeping in, isn't she? I mean, she's Megan Hutchinson Cates. She's always been good, but we're starting to hear a lot more of her now.
We've got a few of her covers. I'm not quite mint.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Get them in. They're great bloody covers, to be fair. There was this one. There was a variant B.
The crossover one she did, which is the homage to 141. That's a stunning cover.
She did a Department of Truth homage to the Slim Shady LP as well.
Yeah.
I got the Department of Truth issue #1 from Not Quite Mint.
Oh, I've literally just got one back with a 9.8 from CGC on the website.
Boom.
Cheeky.
I'm so worried. It was going to be a 9.6.
Mate, I'm thinking I've got a couple coming back that they haven't got great grades. We should smash them.
Ooh.
Who wants to see another CGC smash? Let us know in the chat. If it's a unanimous vote, we'll
experience
do
is
it.
going to be a lot different having Tom with his shirt rolled up, cracking.
He just needs to crack them. Crack it in your muscle.
It'd be like it's going to be like a bloody Diet Coke advert.
But yeah, why not? Let's do it. So Ben, you was mentioning Basilisk. It was. There we go, Andy. Your pick of the week, sir.
It was indeed. Another book that I was really, really excited for, really looking forward to it, and it had great covers.
There were some great covers. There was the main cover by Jonas Schaff. There was cover by Christian Wald. T4 exclusive by Vincenzo Riccardi, which is the variant. Then we had the Sanctum Sanctorum Comics and Oddities Shintaro Kago variant. The Lion Breakers exclusive Dan Quintana variant. Comic Blend exclusive by Zu Ozu. And then again, Megan Hutchinson's case with the variant A, the variant B, and the 1 in 25 Raphael Albuquerque incentive.
I picked up the 1 in 25. That was my favourite.
Yeah, the 1 in 25 and cover B quality.
Yeah.
Also,
absolutely.
But the more important thing is, was it a killer or a binner? Did you like the comic?
So, without getting into spoilers, first of all, I was really looking forward to this book. This was another book that I've had on my Instagram, has been wanting to watch for quite a while. Cullen Bunn, I should say, apologies, is the writer, and he is doing some fantastic work. Indeed, Ben Bunn. He is doing some absolutely fantastic work. He's definitely been busy over the last while. So this is in a nutshell about 5 individuals who call themselves the Chimera. And basically they are like a kind of a supernatural power based super team, and they basically go around killing people and causing destruction and havoc, and there's one particular individual called Regan, and she effectively escaped this team, and she's just been a loner on her own until she's met by an individual who was impacted by her and her team in the past, and I think it's maybe one of her family or something like that get killed, and they're basically going on this story of redemption of her actually helping Regan to actually fix what she's done in the past. For me, I think this is like a 5 issue. Am I right in saying that? 5 or 6 issues?
I think it's 5 or 6, yeah.
So I'm kind of jumping in on the basis that there isn't a huge amount of investment into it, and you kind of expect the story to be quite quick and get to the point, and this doesn't fail with this one. You dive straight into the story. Great, and this is something that Cullen is really good for, is the build-up of a character. So I'm invested in these characters, I know, and more importantly, I want to know a little bit more about them. And I think this was an absolute killer book. Again, it was hard not to compare it to Something That's Killing the Children. It was hard not to compare it to the last book that we reviewed. So for me, it was definitely a killer, something that I'll be picking up, and I'm invested. It'll be good to see how this one goes.
You're supposed to put flowers in that, Charlie.
What's that? No, it's not a vase. It's my water tanker.
A vase.
Not a vase.
That's the vase, guys. I work as receptionist, and when we put water out for the table, we don't put it in that. That's where the plants go.
Yeah, well, I'm a Cockney bastard, and this is what we rob from pubs when we're thirsty in the sunshine or sunburn.
So half-inched. That's a half-inch vase.
I got 2 of them as well. Buy one, get one free. It was.
Hey, Andy, I agree with you.
What?
This is a killer book.
Yes.
I loved it. I felt like, so what I was referring to before was the dual artwork approach, when you have like a flashback or something happens and the artwork is done in a completely different style. And I feel like it used it correctly in this book. Rather than the other book, it just kind of merged within it. Whereas this, it was like the opening felt very kind of atmospheric and and felt very separate to the rest of the book, which is kind of what it needed to be. I felt like that opening scene was so kind of well delivered and haunting and creepy, and you didn't really know what was going on, but you kind of couldn't take your eyes off it still. Regan is a cool central character. Like, she's got the look, she's got the attitude, like the powers, like, yeah.
I'm calling it now, Ben. I'm calling it now. Boom Studios will do a crossover with Regan and Erica Slaughter.
You reckon?
What a super team.
That'd be pretty damn cool. I was going to cosplay Regan today, and I was going to put my wife's knickers over my face, but she hadn't washed them, and there was a stain.
Yeah, hello, Mrs. Crampton.
Hi, babe. The one thing though, I feel like it could have slowed down a tad, but I wrote that note down not knowing how long the run was, and now that you tell me that this is only a 5 or 6 issue run, I get it, and it's given me everything that I need to pick up that second issue. I love that shot at the end where we kind of meet the Chimera or whatever, and you know, as they are today, sort of thing. I just love it. I'm fascinated by like weird kind of like inbred, superpowered weirdos. It was great.
That's why you're part of the Killer Comics, to be fair.
Yeah.
I've got to say,
inbred weirdos.
I've got to say, I read this after The Nice House on the Lake. This is why this was fucking awesome. Honestly, I love a comic that you can just pick up and it gets straight into it straight away, full of action. And it's there. This is what, like, it's Boom Studios. Boom Studios are back with this one. And I've got to say, it's just, Cullen Bunn is just a man on a mission with this comic. 6 issues and it's going to be full throttle all the way. You can tell. It's already like there with the end. Like, we've got the variant A of Hutchinson Cates' covers here. That kind of gives a bit of the story away. But looking at this cover, you just want to read the story more. So even though it does give a bit away about the character involvement and stuff like that, you still can't wait to read this comic because you see what's happening on this cover. You want to know more about it, and shit gets bat crazy within 15, 20 pages. It's awesome. It was awesome.
And there's one particular page where it shows you the Chimera, so it shows you the other 4 characters. And let's just say it's not what you expect. It looks like a bunch of misfits. And when we start diving deep into each of those characters, I think that's when it will start to get fun. So I can't wait for issue 2.
You know what it reminded me of? You know the Rob Zombie films with...
yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I mean? Like, so you've got Captain Spaulding and those guys. It's like real kind of like strange, hick, like dysfunctional kind of family. And character design wise, I mean, you look at that 1 in 25 incentive from Raphael there, and like that instantly looks iconic, even though it's not even a thing yet. It looks like it's been a thing, and it's just a great. I feel like a great character design goes a hell of a long way.
Absolutely.
And like something that's Skin and Children talked about it a lot tonight, but like the simplicity of just those masks with the teeth on, it's like instantly now kind of becomes synonymous with that book. And I think that they've struck gold again with this design too.
Well, I think that's another interesting thing as well, is the fact that something is killing the children. It's the bottom half of the face that's covered, and with this, it's the top half. So there's something there.
I think everyone wants to know: is this going to be a Crampton cosplay?
Absolutely, I hope so.
If his wife washes her knickers, I guess is the answer to that.
I'm so glad she doesn't watch these. I maybe need to see what her cronies are about, because there might be, was there a fat bald guy in that group? I don't know, but we'll have a look.
Well, do you know what Greyman has just said? He said like that there are similarities between Firefly Family, A House of a Thousand Corpses, Lords of Salem. There is a panel in it where they are sitting on a balcony, and it is very much reminiscent of this. But yeah, Tom,
I can't disagree with anything that's been said. I absolutely loved it, and I knew I'd loved it because I'd read it really quickly. And then I just wanted more. That's probably the best review I can give it. I just wanted more. And when it ended, I was really gutted. There was nothing to read.
Yeah. So
killer for me.
Definitely think so. That's 4 killers. So this is winning so far. 4 killers.
Winning. Chicken dinner.
Winner
Charlie,
on that
can we
chicken.
take just a side note to mention that I set a goal on Monday evening with you guys over on Not Quite Mince video, where I said I'd go away and I would read Stillwater.
Oh
my gosh. So Tom mentioned there about wanting more. And I think this is the sort of book that, if you do wait and have 4 or 5 issues, I don't think that's a bad thing, because I think things like this are so easy to flick through, and Stillwater was exactly that. I smashed out like the 7 issues. There are 7. Is it 7 or 8 that are out?
7.
7, yeah.
At the time, just flew, and I could not put it down. So yeah, I think this could if you don't rush out and feel like you have to pick up this first issue, pick it up, but don't feel like you have to read it straight away, because I do think this will be one of those ones that will be quite good to kind of read as a block of 4 or 5.
Yeah.
100%. Totally agree.
If you like comics that just literally straight from the off, boom, action, power, emotion, this is one of them. This is definitely one of them.
To compare it, Charlie. Go ahead, Tom. Go on.
I was going to say, I'd actually say probably wait till all 5 come out, because otherwise you're going to be like me, chomping at the bit to read issue 2.
No, 100%. Just come back to Stillwater. It's funny because if you look at that for 7 issues that obviously Ben's read from start to finish, and then we were so hyped up about that, and we were so hyped up about King in Black, and look what happened to that. And Stillwater is still there's every single issue, 7 issues. Chip Zdarsky's absolutely blown it out of the water. So if you haven't read it, do yourself a favour and go and pick it up.
And Ben, it's funny that you say that, because this is Stillwater.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, mate, a man of your class, I wouldn't have expected it to be sparkling.
Why would you? You wouldn't. You wouldn't. I just caught what you said then.
To be fair, Stillwater, it feels, even after 7 issues, it still feels like just the beginning. I still feel like the scene has only just been set, and I'm okay with however many issues it's going to go on for.
But do you know why I've done that? Because obviously in Stillwater, no one dies or no one ages, and that comic still feels, as you just said, it still feels like issue 1 or 2, even though we're 7 issues in.
It's because that comic's never going to age.
It's wicked, isn't it? Quality. But talking about aging, this was my pick of the week. Out of Body. Now there was 4 covers. There was the main cover by Inaki Miranda, the DJ, it's PJ Katukan variant, and we had the Johnny Desjardins variant cover.
How you say it? I said this on my show, but
Johnny Desjardins.
Johnny Desjardins.
And the 1 in 15 variant cover. Now I have to be honest, I am into the oracles and the mediums and stuff like that. But I've got to be funny. I really like this. I honestly think this, as an issue number 1, lays the groundwork for an exceptional series. I've got to be honest. I know we had some conversation last night, and understandably, the story, there are some plot holes in it, and like the way that the plot lines flow and stuff. But I actually really enjoyed it. Like, I honestly think this is going to be a good story. Like, for me, the artwork, the dialogue, I just really enjoyed it. I think it's because I'm into all this different worldly, and there's something after death and stuff like that. So it kind of had my attention straight away. And then when they're talking about all the psychedelic drugs and LSDs and everything that's going on in this,
I knew you'd be.
I was hooked.
I was right up the street.
I was hooked.
Well, look forward to Thought Bubble.
I really was. I just thought it was a visually stunning book, to be fair. I thought the writing was great. I thought the artwork was good. And by the look of Ben's face, he didn't enjoy it. But this for me was another killer. Like, honestly, I know I don't dislike much, and I do like everything, but I really, really enjoyed this.
I'd probably agree, to be fair, mate. I did enjoy it, but I enjoyed it because of the artwork and the fact that I did feel like I was tripping a little bit whilst reading it. But as a story, I had no idea what was going on. So I think, yes, the artwork's lovely. Yes, I'm probably going to read issue 2, but I have no idea what's going on. So I need to read issue 2 for that reason. So he is a killer, but like a small killer.
Like there was essences of John Constantine in here with like the mystical arts and stuff like that. But I think it's got this has got the foundations of a strong story. Like I'm with it until the end because it's a murder mystery, but there's the occult side of it, there's the mystic art side of it, and there's I think it's gonna definitely pick up. Like it's definitely gonna get better. I know Andy, you messaged me last night. I was like, what the fuck was going on? I can't work. What the hell?
Like,
who am I?
It's great.
I like a good, like, strange story, and I don't mind having to put a bit of effort into reading it, but I was exhausted after reading this. Any book that needs 4 full pages to explain what you've just read isn't a great premise for me. It's certainly a book that I'll definitely read the second issue because I'm intrigued enough, but it was very wordy. A bit like Tom, I didn't know what was going on. It felt like Batman Catwoman, felt a little bit like that, where we were jumping back and forward, and I don't know. I guess because it was such a good week this week, it's hard not to compare them against the other ones. For instance, Basilisk, because Basilisk and Out of Body seem to be the big 2 heavy hitters this week for me, and for me, it just failed in comparison. It was just too heavy and confusing for me. So much so that I pulled it from my pillbox, so I won't be getting that again.
See, I didn't think I was going to enjoy this. I really didn't. I was like, it's Aftershock, and I do like some Aftershock, but some of them can be too heavy. They can be too dark and deep, and you're like... So I was like, I'm going to go in with this. I picked it and I read it, and I honestly enjoyed it. But what Firehawks just said, he said, sounds like OBE that came out a couple of weeks ago. That was Out of Body Experience.
Yeah. That was a good book. Yeah.
Was it the same?
It was the same. It was kind of with the same theme, same premise. But for me, OBE was laid out a lot better, and it didn't need 4 pages to explain what you just read at the end.
Is it a bit like Fear Case and Department of Truth? Like similar, but one is slightly better than the other.
Yeah, it's like a Sexy X-Files.
Nice.
Ben, did you like Sexy X-Files?
I thought X-Files was sexy anyway, to be honest. I liked this. I hated this. I thought it was,
wow, the H word.
I thought it was a winner. So, like, the fantasy elements, literally, from, like, the first page were, like, shoved down my throat like 5 unwanted guests. And, the thing is, when, like, so Harry Potter, like, take Harry Potter, okay, like, which is a similar kind of fantasy type sort of thing that they're going for, maybe a little bit, but, like, it took its time, like, it kind of slowly introduced you to the idea of Harry, didn't show you the villain, and then you kind of meet Harry in, like, the normal world, and then there's, like, a little drop of fantasy here and a little drop there, and eventually, down the line, you then have Diagon Alley, and everything is kicking off. This was like straight away, it was just like, oh, here's fantasy, here's a mysterious, a bad guy who just ended up being so cliche and kind of lacked.
It was pure Batman.
It just lacked any kind of imagination for me, and which was weird because I think the very premise of it was to try and kind of, help people's imagination. It didn't spend any time kind of building that atmosphere or like methodically kind of like slowly introducing characters. It was just like new character. The one thing I will say is that it did have nice, consistent art, but it was nice. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was nice art. The one thing I will say is Eva de la Cruz, who did the colouring work,
oh yeah, spot
did
on.
an absolutely superb job. And the visuals towards the end, which is what's kind of referenced on a lot of those covers, reminded me a lot of what they're going to be doing with Polka Dot Man in the Suicide Squad film that's coming out, like visually. And I just found like that really interesting on a kind of color basis and looked really pretty. But yeah, I thought it was just naff. It just felt like one of those naff indie comics.
Oh wow! I actually think that's the first time we've heard that on the Killer Comic Show.
But the problem is, this was the sort of book that when I was a lot smaller minded, believe it or not, my mind has expanded somewhat. But you know, when I used to just read Marvel and DC and stuff, like this was the sort of book that I just thought all indie books were like. I just thought they were all a bit naff, and like you go to MCM and you know they're trying to like sell their like you know book to you, and it's rubbish. And obviously you guys in recent weeks have, and even this week with Basilisk, you know, massively changed my kind of outlook on indie books. But this just felt, unfortunately, like what the majority of indie books are like, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I'm on an ice cream, quick.
I can understand that. Just want to give a shout out to Wakey Box. Hello, lads. Thought I'd join in as I picked up my first comics this week. Let's give that man a round of applause because thank you very much. And you picked a great show to jump into, mate. So well done for picking up comics.
Wakey Box has lost his comic book virginity, ladies and gentlemen.
If you need to know anything,
if
you need to know anything, we've got various videos out on YouTube, on Instagram. Head over, follow us all, give us all a like, check out what you like. I'm sure all of us, if you drop us a DM, we can all message. Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he messaged me today, and he's picked up some various covers. I think he picked up a few covers. One of his girlfriend's covers is an absolute awesome one. So nice one for picking up on that. But I mean, if you need any indie news, check out the Oracle right above me. If you want to find out what Killer Keys are coming out, check out the guy above him. And if you want to find out anything with Marvel, where it all started, check out the guy bang at the top, because we've all got fantastic stuff coming out, and we're part of the Killer Comics crew. This is what we do it for. So massive thanks for jumping in for that. So we all had an out-of-body experience, more so than others reading this comic. Was it a killer or a binner? I'm going to go killer.
I'm going killer. Small killer.
Small killer.
Binner.
Binner.
50,
okay.
50.
Chicken dinner.
Well, we can't win them all. So, but on that note, I think we should go to Andy's pick of the week. Oh no, it was Ben's. There it is, Ben's, wasn't it? It was Ben's.
Andy's pick of the week, as if. Wash your mouth out, Charles.
This one's definitely going to be up on Perpetual Comics tomorrow. Pick of the week.
So we had we had some nice covers out this week, Ben. We did have some nice covers. Okay. I haven't even updated these. What am I doing? Oh, there we go. It was the main cover, Russell Dalterman. The 1 in 50 Russell Dalterman Emma Frost character design variant. The 1 in 50 David Finch. We had the Russell Dalterman connecting variant. We had the fantastic David Nakayama variant A.
I like
and the Virgin variant B. Did you enjoy it, Benjamin?
Right, guys, you are cordially invited to the Hellfire Garden. So get out of those scruffy hoodies and t-shirts. It's time to brush up. No, I mean, right. So just to kind of give people a very simple version of kind of what the crack is at the moment with the X-Men. So the X-Men they basically decided to build a nation on Krakoa. Krakoa is a living island, basically. So they built kind of nation on Krakoa because for years, you know, people have mugged them off. But they're playing the game. They've got plants that they are basically kind of selling to us humans to use, which is nice of them. What else is going on? You've got all kinds of kind of secret missions and kind of secrets going on and stuff on the island. But long story short is they are their own nation now. And what this has been arranged by Emma Frost because it's what they used to do within the Hellfire Club, is put on like a gala, which is kind of a celebration of who they are. And it's also a chance to kind of invite, you know, dignitaries and, you know, people who might be on the fence and try and kind of sway them either way and stuff. So it's a bit of a kind of political dinner party, basically. Mm-hmm. It's the worst description ever. But I've been excited about this for a while, and I think I'm on a bit of a come down, to be quite honest, as a X-Men fan.
As you just said, calm down. Krakoa is a powerful drug. Don't do Krakoa, kids.
True story. Yeah, so I've been on a bit of a come down since X of Swords, which was the last kind of big mutant event. It was absolutely horrendous. So I was looking forward to this. I think story-wise, I'm hoping that this moves things forward a little bit, because I think once kind of House of X and Powers of X was established, everything's kind of felt a bit stagnant. And it's not been until the most recent X-Men issue 19 or 20, I want to say, where we got an appearance from Nimrod, and it kind of revisits some stuff from Powers of X and House of X. It wasn't until that and this, Hellfire Gala, where stuff has really moved forward. So I feel like the scene is set perfectly. And I know one of Andy's criticisms is to come. And I think, don't kind of come into this book expecting like a fight, a big scrap, or excitement and action and stuff like that. This is more of a kind of setting the scene issue. It's a real kind of character issue, and I feel like Duggan executes humor perfectly when it comes to. Have I said that wrong?
No, I just seen Chrissy's comment. Oh, that deserves a giveaway for comment of the day. Continue, Benjamin.
No, fuck yeah. And fuck you, Chris.
There's a clip for this week as well.
That's got to be a clip. But I'm just gonna jump right in quick. I didn't get this comic. I tried giving it a read. I messaged Ben last night. I said, I've got to read the previous 20 issues and stuff like that. I tried to sit down and read it. I just couldn't. I think it's because X-Men for me has gone on so long. There's so much around it. I don't know where I'm looking. I think one of the stories I did with it is Wolverine, and he's on Krakoa. And then I even lost track with that. And for me, it kind of seems like Star Wars, how Star Wars is going at the moment. There's so many Star Wars comics, so much going on, and I'm kind of losing my train of thought. So I tried to sit down and read this. I just couldn't get into it. And I mean, obviously this Hellfire Club, as you said, it's kind of just a dining experience for all the villains and whatever stuff. I just couldn't get into it. And I want to find myself loving X-Men. But I think years ago, I think it must have been a year ago or so, when Tom and Ben were doing something on Not Quite Mint for X-Men, it was like reading an encyclopedia.
Yeah.
X of Swords. And I remember Ben saying that it was a good story to get into, but it's hard. This, out of everything that's going on with X-Men, would you say this is the best one to get into, Ben, if I was to go back and read the 20 issues? Do you think I'd have more?
I don't know, but can you drop a chat for Chris and see if he wants to come on and do his own intro for this comic? I do think it's a good jumping on point. I think what you need to do is, straight after reading this, you need to read Hellions, which is another kind of team of X-Men, but they're like a splinter team, and it's great. They're just basically turn up to the party. They're all drunken liabilities, and it's a real fun read. And X-Force, who are kind of serving as the bouncers for this whole thing. So that's also a really awesome book. So I think if you are, if you're going to give this a swing, read those 3 books this week. I think if you just read this, it might not hook you in enough. But I think once you read Hellions and X-Force, it will fully get you on board. I mean, it's a bit of fun, a lot of this as well. They've got celebs that have all gone. So if you look at some of the panels, there's Conan and that female American footballer, the one with the pink hair and stuff. I loved it. And there's things there that are really intriguing as well, what does Mr. Fantastic whisper to Xavier? So how's that going to all unravel? And if you're not into your new X-Men, they do reprint an old Chris Claremont story at the end, featuring the Hellfire Club. So that's just a little Brucey bonus there as well. It was a killer for me.
Tom?
Well, I was going to say, before Andy gets in, I liked it, but I'm a huge Marauders fan anyway, and I've read all the books up to this point. So I kind of already knew what was kind of going on, and I think if you haven't read some of the stuff, it could easily get missed. But like Ben said, as a jumping on point, kind of as a builder, I think this is a good starting point for someone that wants to kind of get into the Marauders. It is going to be, it's like a builder, but I would say my only criticism, I like the artwork, I thought it was really good, and I enjoyed the story. My only criticism was there was a page where they changed outfits. Like Emma Frost was in this gown, and then she was in this one here. And I literally had no idea what happened between that panel and that panel. Like, it just, everyone was coming out of the gala, and it's like, hold on, what's happened? Like, what are they on about? What's going on? Like, it was a bit...
Yeah, well, it wasn't made clear. The jump forward wasn't clear that it was a jump forward. I completely agree with you. Actually.
That was my only criticism, I would say, from that one. But I'm sure Andy's got more criticisms than that. So it's a killer from me.
Brace yourself.
Here we go.
Ben, I love you. I admire you. And I was really
someone does.
intrigued to see what this had to offer. As someone, embrace yourselves, everybody, who doesn't know a lot about the X-Men. I went into this like a fresh daisy, not knowing what to expect. But I trusted your judgment, Ben. Not to take up too much time in the Killer Comics show, but this was absolute bollocks. I hated every single bit of it. The artwork was loose. It was kiddie, like it was flat colours. The story, I'm still trying to find it. It was just really, really poor. The covers were nice. David Nakayama, our friend of Killer Comics, absolutely knocked it out of the park with the covers. But for me, this wasn't Hellfire. This was just absolute hell from start to finish. But I appreciate the opportunity, and please don't pick it again.
So I would say, the last one was a double binner. This one was, I can't pass judgment on it because I didn't read it, but it's a two. I couldn't get into it. Like, I'm not gonna. If I'm gonna give a comic like an opportunity,
it wasn't even that much to read.
No, but that's the thing. I wanted to read. Like, sure. I don't just want to jump into 21 issues. I don't just want to jump into issue 21. I want to. If I'm going to read it and give it an opportunity.
I did.
Yeah, but look at your response.
Hey, cut the head off this snake.
But look at your
response. We need to, guys. See, after this, we're having a chat, guys. Sorry.
Yep, that's fine. We're having a chat. We're having a chat. We'll have a chat. But yeah, so. But do you know what the thing is? I think I'm the same as Andy. I've kind of lost track with all of the X-Men. So for me to give this a benefit of the doubt, I think I need to start from the beginning. I think I need to read this. I think I need to read Hellions and stuff like that. But it's just X-Men. It's just, there's so much going on. Even in the films, there's like multi-universes where they film this, they film that, they've done this, they've done that. And you just think, well, is this comic going anywhere like this?
Well, no, you can't. Like, let's not associate the films with the comics because
that's what I'm saying.
The films didn't even do that. I feel like the future for the X-Men is the best future for the X-Men as it stands is if you strip back on titles. And I honestly, for me, I would be happy with X-Men, Marauders, and X-Force, and maybe Hellions. So that's only 4 X-Men titles. I can't see any reason to do any others. Mm-hmm. And the future for the X-Men, I honestly think, is to kind of create, like, morph them into villains of the Marvel Universe, like, in a kind of weird turn of events. Like, because as it stands, like, so many decisions that, like, Xavier's making, Magneto, Beast, especially at the moment, you know, they're really questionable decisions. And you look at, like, Emma Frost, and Emma Frost was a villain once upon a time. And again, she's kind of to make questionable decisions. So I would like to see the mutants kind of become almost the villains of Marvel, and potentially that might be the way that they are introduced into the MCU as well.
Do we think that the fact that they keep dying and being reborn on Krakoa, that every time they die and be reborn, they're slightly more evil because Krakoa was evil when they first met him in Giant Size X-Men issue 1?
Well, we discussed this, didn't we? Like, you know, what we don't hear enough from Krakoa directly.
Yeah.
And I know that there's been bits where like Cypher is like translated and stuff for him, but like I don't think we've really kind of learned what his place is in all of this. And I'm hoping there's going to be something in the works with that as well. So, you know, I think I am a little bit biased because I am like hardcore mutant fan. And I do agree with some of the points that you guys are making. And the flash forward was not handled well. Okay, it wasn't a great book, but everyone looked fabulous.
True. I want to be a Mutants fan. I like the premise. I love the idea of it, but I don't think this was a book that reflected that, specifically for somebody like me that doesn't know X-Men that well. I just thought it was quite a poor representation. And
I think it's the same problem with all of Marvel at the moment. Everything needs to be stripped back. It's almost like they've gone so far in terms of like continuity and characters and spin-offs, and it's like everything's so busy and you know you can't catch it. Like Charlie refuses to catch up because it's too deep, you know.
It's not that I refuse to catch up.
Like that.
It's not that I refuse to catch up. It's the fact I think that there's so much going on. But if I can just read Marauders and catch up with it and get on with it and read Hellions, I've heard good things about Hellions. Like you speak highly of Hellions, so I think that's definitely one I'm going to read. But these comic covers are just insane. Like some of them, like obviously David Nakayama, Russell Dalton, they're all killing it. Like all these covers are absolutely killing it. So if this is anything to go by, then I'm more than willing to give it a read. We're not all going to agree on the same comics that we like on this show. That's what it's here for. It's a killer or a binner. We've all got different opinions. We've all like enlightened ourselves to read indie comics and Marvel and Aftershock and stuff like that. So this is what it's here for. We're not all going to like it, but this is why I love you guys.
It's a great celebration of like fashion and like that whole kind of world of like it's so cool though. Like all the designs have been amazing. Of you know, for each individual character has, you know, their own kind of Hellfire Gala look, and so I love that element as well. But I love RuPaul's Drag Race. So.
Well, exactly. So definitely, so it's 2 killers, 1 binner, and this twat here didn't read it, so I'm just going to go.
It's a killer. Yay!
Right, so there we are. So I think overall the winning comic was Basilisk.
Yeah, man. I actually might change my pick of the week to Basilisk, to be fair.
I think it was. But with all that done, should we have a little bit of a unboxing? So for any one of you guys in the chat that joined us a few weeks ago for John Boy Maz, who jumped on the show, I would say him, but his PA Melanie, who kind of runs the show, even John Boy said it himself, without her, he would kind of just say yes to everything and get no work done. And then we wouldn't be graced with all the stuff that he's kind of done and we read and enjoy and stuff. She sent us a AOK. John Boy mentioned it on the stream. He did mention it to us, what we had received. It was meant to be a big surprise when I received it, but John Boy let the cat out of the bag. This arrived yesterday, I think it was. It was either yesterday or today. As you can see, it's fully not open, so I'm just going to do it, guys. I'm just going to crack in, jump in, open it up, and then let's see what we've got.
Can I just make a recommendation whilst you're opening up the box there? My read of the week for this week was a book called Moths.
Yes,
from AWA Upshop, and it was stunning. The artwork was crazy. It was one of those ones you looked at the artwork and had to take a second glance at it. It was absolutely crazy. So I'd highly recommend it. And I'm so disappointed I didn't pick it as my book to review here.
We spoke about it on Monday, didn't we? I was on the fence of picking that one.
Right, so guys, I've got to say that this is very well packaged, to be fair, coming all the way from the States, but
out.
Let's have a look what he sent us. So
It's quite a thick package.
we've got one of them.
We're talking about Charlie's package, mate.
Signed,
Nice.
signed by John Boy. And then
Nice.
he sent us the Virgin as well.
Is that to eBay?
That's signed by John Boy. So we have, by the looks of it, we have all got a set each.
Oh, John Boy.
Here we go. Look, we've got
Absolutely.
Virgin and Trade. That's 1. Virgin and Trade. 2. And 3. And 4. So we've all got a set each. Massive shout out to John Boy for taking the time to sign these. Massive shout out to Melanie for sending them. I'll get these in the post, you guys. I'll get them sent out to you tomorrow. So hopefully you should have them by Monday. But I mean, let's be honest, this is they're pretty decent, aren't they? Let's be honest.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice. Who doesn't? And I've got to say,
That's just the icing on the cake. Getting those, we invite all these artists and creators and stuff like that to have a good chat. And regardless if we get nice free books in the post, that interview was absolutely fantastic. I walked away from it with a new lust for life, because it was not just dropping artistic and creative forms, it was stuff to actually live your life by. So if you haven't checked it out after this video, make sure you go check the rewind.
But they all are
the best interviews we've done.
100%. 100%. And they're all ours for us. So I'll get them packed up and get them sent out for you.
I think they're a really special way to commemorate that.
Tell you what, Andy, you're doing
Yeah, 100%.
You're doing a charity thing at some point, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm going to donate my copies of the John Boys to that charity event.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's very, very nice of you. Yes,
why don't you
that's
just
amazing.
donate one and keep one yourself? I think you've still got one.
Nah. Well, yeah, okay, do that. I'll keep one. And
Oh, wait, whoa! Can we just just Ben? Shh. Oh, you've had your Marauders moment. Be quiet.
That's
Well, anyway.
documented now that I have taken from the charity.
yeah, pretty much.
But I think we can all agree, as people can in the chat, that it's sick artwork, quality pulls. That's class. What a lad. What a gesture. Very cool. That was a great show. He was fab. I said to Charlie that show was about. I think it is. I think like the Killer Comic Show's gone strength to strength, and it's all thanks to you guys.
I'd agree
The
with
only thing is, though, is anybody else that we get, so any other creators or artists, now that they've seen this, John Boy Mars is kind of set the bar now for every artist and stuff. We're going to need giveaways and different books and stuff like that. So just be warned for anybody that comes on.
But I think what we're going to do now, let's just do another little segue, and we might as well do. Andy, you ready, mate? There we go. It's the Perpetual Killer Indie Picks of the Week.
I am loving the fact that I have a little introduction video. It actually makes me quite emotional because I've never had an introduction video. So thank you so much, Tom, for pulling that.
You're welcome, mate. It needs
He
some
smashed
tweaking.
He smashed it out of the bag, didn't he? But this is obviously Perpetual Comics Killer Indie Picks for New Comic Book Day, June 9th, which is coming up next Wednesday. Andy,
Indeed.
The floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, so these are everything that's due out next Wednesday. So if there's any of these books that you haven't already told your LCS about, then please make sure that you get in touch and let them know. The first up, and this is an absolutely fantastic read, is Carmen issue number 1. So this is written by Gilliam
Issue
Mark.
number 4. This is issue 4.
Issue number 4, sorry. This is by Gilliam Mark. Is it Mark? March?
March.
There we go. So he does the writing, he does the art on it, he does the cover art. And for me, this is one of these books that is kind of under the radar for a lot of people because there's so much good stuff there. I think people are missing it in this one. Now, this isn't a light read by any stretch of the imagination. It goes into a lot of topics. It's very much haha-esque. It's kind of looking into the mind and looking at mortality and death and how people deal with death and difficult situations. But it's been one that my first read whenever it comes out. I'd highly recommend it. The artwork is superb. Covers are fantastic, and I think maybe Ben, you've read at least issue 1 on this.
Mm-hmm.
I've read all of them. Yeah.
You've read all of them? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I've been reading that first 3. Yeah, couldn't have put it better myself. I don't want to go on too long, so. But yeah, no, it's great. I actually didn't realise as I was reading the 3 issues that it was a full 360 service from Gilliam there, which makes it even more impressive. But yeah, because some quite taboo subjects, but I think handled in a really kind of dark sense of humour kind of way, I guess, sometimes. But yeah, beautiful to look at as well. And funny.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it definitely takes a different look at the subject matter. And there's 5 issues in total for this, so this is the second last issue. So it's one of those ones you can dive into, or you can just wait till the trade comes out. But it's definitely something you want to read.
There we go. God of War.
Yeah, so God of War for me, this was a complete cover by Gabriel Dell'Otto cover. It's not many Gabriel Dell'Otto covers you get that are not 1 in 25s or 1 in 15. You have to pay a premium for. I've read issue 1 of this, and I enjoyed it. But I think if you're into that sort of side of things and you're into like role playing games and stuff like that, you'll really, really enjoy this. But if there's any other reason to pick this up, it's just the absolutely stunning artwork by Gabriel Dell'Otto.
Right, look at that one.
Eve. Now, for me, thanks to Charlie, I read this the first time. Because I was really, really looking forward to it. I read it, and I guess I didn't get it through the first read. And Charlie's like, just stick at it, give it another read. And I did, and I liked it more. I kind of understood it more. But the reason I put this in is because this is the second printing of issue number 1. I'm going to give the guy's name a go. It's Joe Mignon. We'll go for that as the cover artist. I just really like the cover art on this one. I think it sums up the story in issue 1.
It's really
It's fantastic. I think this is quite a low print run as well. Yeah. So for any of you speculators there, it might be something to pick up, because there's no doubt that this is going to be made into a TV series or an animated series of some sort.
And I've got a feeling her T-shirt, her symbol on her T-shirt is going to come into play, because it featured quite a lot in issue 1. And it seems to be an ongoing thing, so who knows? But yeah, Boom Studio's killing it as usual.
Indeed. And to keep on the theme, this is issue number 2 of Eve, which I will be reading now that Charlie has bullied me into it. So this is the cover B, and this is by Dan Mora. I know that Tom, you're a huge fan of Dan Mora, so this for me is absolutely stunning. Again, you can see the emblem there, taking pride of place, but is this as close to like perfection as you get in a cover? I'm not entirely sure what is, and the fact that this is just a cover B and you're not paying those ratio prices, I would suggest you should definitely pick this up and see what it's all about.
I've got to say, there's not many covers that I would look at and like think that's if I was to get that, I would send that to CGC. That just looks amazing. Like Tom, you're a massive Dan Mora fan, but that is perfection right there.
It is. It's a beautiful cover, mate. I mean, I think you've done really well there with that one. I've actually got this one on order myself.
Ben, have you been reading Eve?
Yeah, I read the first issue. I wasn't keen, so I might let you guys be my canaries down the mine for the second issue. See what it's like. Let me know if it's worth jumping back in, because as it stands, I don't really have a huge amount of interest in the second issue. But cover by wise, better.
Sweet. Oh, I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, this is the one that I've been really, really looking forward to. So this is Bunny Mask. The writer is Paul Tobin, and it's Andrea Muti is the cover artist and the interior artists. And again, this is a horror series. There seems to be a huge amount of horror books on the market. It's Aftershock, who are absolutely killing it at the minute. And it's from the same creator, Paul Tobin, that done the book called Colder. And I don't know if any of you guys read that, but certainly some of the cover art for that was really, really horrific. So if the interiors and the story is going to be anything like that, I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And interestingly enough, cover B is literally just a cutout bunny mask. So it's definitely one I'll be picking up. I reckon this is more than likely going to be my pick of the week for next week. So we'll look forward to seeing what that book's all about when we read it.
They've got the previews of this over on previews.com, and you can see it, and it looks just freaky as anything.
Yeah.
It looks very good.
Is that Ariana Grande? Who's the lead?
It is now. I'm never going to get that out of my head now. Every time I look at that image, it's a spit image, isn't it?
Right. Isn't this a euphemism for drug use?
Chasing the Dragon.
Well, yeah, it is. So this is
Anyone would
Denton.
know.
Denton Tipton is the writer. This is a heavy metal magazine comic. And the premise here is in Chasing the Dragon, New York Times best-selling writer Denton Tipton and celebrated painter Menton 3 explore a dark fantasy world ravaged by the rampant abuse of a drug made from the blood of dragons.
You called
I
it
just thought
straight away, Charlie.
that sounded cool.
Isn't that the plot line for what was that film with Mel Gibson in and the dragon, Dragonheart or something, where they like the heart?
Mel Gibson, is it?
Is it Mel? Do you know the one I mean? And the story is about like if you eat the dragon's heart.
Yeah,
so
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean, right? Anyway,
it isn't Mel Gibson, but you are right. I think
Sorry.
it's called Dragonheart.
No, not at all. I want one of you guys to actually pick this as your pick of the week, or we can do it as a honourable mention, I guess, for next week. But the actual cover art looks absolutely stunning, and I'm interested because it's like a celebrated painter called Menton 3. That's the name he goes by. I've never heard of he or she, whoever it is, but it'll be interesting to see what the interior work looks like, if it's just as good as the cover artwork.
Yeah.
It's in two things though, that cover. Nipples.
That's code word for the giveaway for later on, if we've got one. Did I just make it up?
The whole thing we do on my show, mate.
There we go. Right, and up next.
Yeah, so this was kind of like my wild card, if you will. This is 6 sidekicks of Trigger Keaton, which is a fantastic name. So this is by writer Kyle Starks, and the art and cover art is by Chris Schweizer. Not an artist or a writer that I've heard of, but I just thought the synopsis was really intriguing. So it says the world's most unlikable action star has been found dead, and his previous TV sidekicks are looking to solve the mystery. But how can you watch a murderer when almost everyone hated the victim? Now these sidekicks are going to learn what it means to be the stars of the show. That is, if any of them survive the Stuntman War. So this is for fans of Chew and Assassin Nation. And the guy called Chris Schweizer is an Eisner Award nominee. So, yeah, Skybound, go for it. Check it out.
Just going back to what we was talking about, Triple G has said Dragonheart, not Mel, and it was Sean Connery voiced Dragon, and Dennis Quaid, I think, was the knight.
Yes, Triple G. Dragon. There you go.
Someone was listening.
But Andy, that was there's some good books in there, mate. There's some really good books in there.
It's another good week next week for some good indie books. So as I say, Buddy Mask is going to be my pick of the week for next week. So tune in next week to see what we all think about it. Definitely. That is Andy's Killer Indies.
And I think talking about, as we've had some fantastic indie covers, let's just go on to the next one. And now we've only gone and got
Stuck in everyone's head now for the rest of the night.
Crampton's killer covers for New Comic Book Day, June 2nd. So, Ben, what treats have you got in store for us, mate?
Okay, so first up, we did touch on this earlier.
Right.
This is friend of the show, David Nakayama here, with a colour bleed style Emma Frost cover. We see her here in a Hellfire Gala Cosy serving diamond realness. Yes, Queen. It's a great advert, isn't it, for moisturizer? By the way, if you look at
a Nivea advert.
Anyway, you perverts might not actually appreciate the brilliance of that crystal work. Just appreciate the crystal on her leg over other parts. You filthy fuck. Okay, so that's Marauders, issue 21 from David Nakayama. And next up we have the Immortal Hulk, issue 47. So this is part of the Sinister Villains of Spider-Man variants that they're doing. So this is by Shalvey. I love a beefy boy scrap myself. And Hulk versus Rhino always delivers, despite Rhino basically getting destroyed pretty much every time he faces the Hulk. But God loves to try her. So I love in this cover how the wreckage and things kind of interacts with that title. And you got a really nice sense of motion there as well. Unfortunately, the smoke covers Rhino's hind, because otherwise that would have been a real peach of the week contender.
100%.
But it does cover it up. So lastly, this is the John Cassidy War of the Bounty Hunters issue 1 trading card variant. So I mean, we've had more Fets than a Camino cloning factory recently. Wrote that myself. But this is like such a nice, bold, clear kind of portfolio style, school headshot. I love covers like this. Sometimes they're just simple. There's, the focus is on the character. I love how the box kind of frames him and he sits in front of the titles there as well. And it's part of some connecting covers. So there are covers exactly like this with IG-88, Bosk, Dengar, Zuckuss, and For Long as well. So definitely something to watch. And those are Crampton's covers.
But Ben, it's interesting. It's interesting that you picked a trading card variant, because Mark Bagley's doing loads of trading card variants at the moment, and I think they're all jumping on the hype train because obviously trading cards are now becoming massive again. You can get them graded and stuff like that. So, but I think it's true what the Poptimus is saying. You've got to draw a line under somewhere. Like, there's so many of them coming out, and so many of them are fantastic.
Slightly saturated the market.
Slightly saturated. Wakey Box has just said, it's Mrs. Curtis here now as well. Say hello, everyone. She read her first comic on the way home from Edinburgh today. Future State, the next Batman, issue number 2. She said it was good. She's too shy to chat. We're all friendly here. We're all friendly here.
Join us. Be nice to get a female's opinion, to be fair.
But it would be good to get a female's opinion, because up next we have, what have we got? What have we got now? Who have we missed out? We've got, here we go. Let's do it. There we go. Look, we're all getting on in the intros tonight. And this is the Not Quite Min Killer Keys for New Comic Book Day, June 9th, which is obviously next week. So, Tom?
Right, yeah. So there's a few kind of first appearance and stuff next week, but in this particular book, so we're looking at Challenge of the Super Sons, is the first appearance of the Dreamer, and he's a character that actually has already debuted, but only in the CW Supergirl TV show. So this would be his first comic book debut in this issue. If you're into the speculation of getting first appearances, then get this one for the Dreamer.
Great stuff.
X-Men 21. This is the first appearance, or what they're calling the first appearance, of the new Krakoan X-Men, which is probably basically the X-Men we've already had, or had in some kind of combination in some other book. But this is the first time they've come from Krakoa, not from the mansion. So yeah,
it's a new roster though. It's a new lineup that we've not had.
It's a new lineup.
Yeah. And they did the voting thing for it. To see who, I think Polaris won the vote.
Yes.
And
there you go. So this is the first appearance of Night Gwen in the Heroes Reborn, Night Gwen issue 1, covered by David Nakayama, a friend of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So this is her first. It's like an alternate reality of Gwen Stacy, but as kind of like a Nighthawk type character.
I'm actually quite looking forward to this one.
Yeah, me too. I think this is going to be a real sleeper book that there's a design variant. I think is it Garon that does it.
Yep.
And I think that might be one of the killer key books to pick up if you're a bit of a speculator.
Yeah, definitely. I think this will probably be one of the ones I pick for us to read next week because of the fact that these alternate versions of like Gwen Stacy or like Mary Jane, they tend to be quite hot later on in the future. I.e., look at Spider Gwen. I mean, she's massive now.
Oh, she is. That was wicked. Tom, another fantastic week for you, mate. I thank you all so much. You've all smashed it this week, and we've even getting like even Triple G's. Like, where are these intros coming from? They are awesome. That is from our main man, Mr. Tom Malin from Not Quite Men. Not only does he own a comic book shop, not only does he sell fantastic variants, not only does he sell standard comics now, he also does bloody awesome intros as well. So if you ever need anything, don't hit him up because he's far too busy. Far too busy. But
didn't do my one. I did my own.
Yeah, you did do yours, mate. Yeah.
And Ben did do his own. It was Andy's and Tom's that he did. So yeah, Ben did his own as well. So if you need it, if Tom's too busy, hit Oprah Ben and he'll sort you out. But we've got another new viewer. We've only got Kirsty is in the house. Where is she? Where has she gone? Kirsty is in the house. Hi, thanks for that, Lewis. That Emma Frost cover though. So she's in love with that. It's always good to have a new viewer. And you've joined just in time because this is what we like to call, Kirsty, this is what we like to call Peach of the Week. Is Peach of the Week. And it is... What have
Kirsty
we got this week, Ben?
Kirsty leaves.
Up first. Now this is it. Look here. Highbrow shit. Peach. Great work.
It's what the people want.
It is.
And if you want to sub me up, that'd be great. And I've put the links to everybody else's channels in the chat there, guys. So
go for it.
Oh, mate.
Now, look, finally, peachy time. Now, Ben, you're Peach.
Yeah, as people know, I'm a massive Harley Quinn fan, so I am biased. You know, whenever there's an opportunity for Harley Peach, I will. I was going to say grab it, but that makes me sound like Donald Trump. But here we have an elderly Harley Peach. So I think her and Catwoman here are supposed to be like in their 70s, and I mean, she does Pilates or something still, because I think that's holding up very well. So yeah, I just wanted to.
Look at Ben liking the coffin dodgers.
I wanted to make our elderly viewers make them feel represented here on
our elderly viewers.
But Ben, I've got to say, having read this comic last night, this is the best thing to come out of Batman Catwoman issue number 5.
Was it bad?
I mean, the thing is with that book, the artwork is phenomenal every time, and that's why I keep looking. I look at it. That's what I'm going to say. I don't read it. I look at it every time it comes out.
It is an OA Peach.
Superb artwork.
It is an OA Peach. We've got 70-year-old Peach. I'll pass. We've just found out that Kirsty's partial to a Peach.
Dunlop, you need to take what you can get, pal.
Kirsty's partial to a Peach, so don't worry, lads. That's all good. Little blue pill. We've got a rotten Peach. I think OA Peach wins.
Nice.
That wins
the comment of the night.
She does have a fairly tight grip on that mallet.
She does, doesn't she? And then funny enough, there's not only one Harley Quinn, but there might be another one. But this is Noctera number 4. Segway.
That didn't work out how you wanted, did it?
No, it didn't. But oh well. A peach is a peach.
No one knows.
Yeah. So this was my selection. This was quite an interesting one because I'm sitting downstairs and I'm reading the comic on my iPad, and the wife is watching the TV and she looks over at me and I'm taking a picture of my iPad of a woman's backside. So
do you not know how to screenshot?
I'll tell you, there was no screenshot going on at that point. So that's just a little insight into Perpetual Comics' life. I hope you enjoyed the speech.
That's what we like. But
well, I
let's
hope
be
the
honest,
divorce goes smoothly, pal.
it will go peachy. It will go peachy. But let's be honest, this story, Noctera, if you're not reading it, guys, in the chat, it is unbelievable. Scott Snyder absolutely killing it. We're all looking forward to seeing him at Thought Bubble in November. But jump on this. Awesome comic. Awesome.
My only concern about this one, Andy, is the fact that there's blood all the way around the edge. And the first thing you saw was her ass in between all that blood. I like it.
That's it. Look,
Nice to turn very quickly. Please,
wow. This
nice
escalated. Move on.
Die. Joseph
That was
Michael Linsden's
quick.
Dawn from Serious Comics, late 80s, still has the best peach. My first comic crush. Mr. Butler, if you could send me that image on Instagram to any one of us, we will feature it in next week's show because I'd love to see it. So make sure you do that. Not enough flesh on this one.
Jesus.
There we go.
Good.
And
welcome to the dark web, everyone.
Now, what we got up next? There we go. Look at this one. So this was my one, right? So there was 2 Harleys that were stolen. So I had to jump on.
Comics that you don't read.
No, I'm actually reading this. I've got up to issue 5.
Right.
This is Vampirella. This is the Matt Dalton variant. This was featured in my Top Comic Releases video on Monday. I see it. Peachy, gorgeous. Not much really to say about it. She clearly does lunges. She clearly works out. There we go.
It clearly defies the rules of what a scientifically accurate body could look
And
like.
this is it. Look, that's more like it. Now, this is it. But you are in for a peach because I did mention there's not just one Harley Quinn. There was 2.
Oh, yes.
There we go.
Peachy Peach from
Peachy
I
Bad.
like this scene. This scene was very sexy. Like I was like,
Yeah.
you both shut up and kiss already. Like it was very sexy. It was sexy.
It was sexy.
But I think like it was that was a great peach this week. I mean, what have we said?
Big week.
It was a great week, and I think some of the people have said, "Yeah, look, the Pottermouth is read up to issue 5, but can't read them. Pages are ruined." I know that's what happens when you have kids, mate. They get hold of your stuff, they rip it, and there we go. Look, here, Wakey Box. Well, that's me banned from the show from now on. But no, if you're banned and Kirsty's on, at least we get one of you. Look, the Peach Pit.
Trust me, if anyone's banned from the chat, it's not you tonight. You know who you are.
But guys, it's been another wicked week for comics. Like as I said, we're not always going to agree on the comics. It's been fantastic having the interaction in the chat. Maybe Ben might disagree. I think it's all love and war with comic and reading, isn't it? Look. Oh, salty low. There we go. But guys, come on, it's been a really good show. It's been consistent. The guys in the chat have loved it. It's been wicked. We got a lovely gift from John Boy Maz that I'll get in a post to you. So I think overall it's been a pretty decent week. The sun's been shining. I've got burnt. I ain't got really much to complain about, to be fair.
Highlight of my week is doing this. So thank you guys. Thank you to everybody in the chat. It's been bouncing. And we look forward to next week.
So I'm just reading. Mr. Butler said, "I'm old as fuck. I don't use Instagram. I'm still smashing MySpace." Okay, then I don't know where I had to come back from that. Have you got email? You can drop that. Bebo, yeah, brilliant lads. Great show. There we go. Look, it's going to be great. And on that note, I'm just going to hand over the big screen to Mr. Attention Seeking Geek himself. Benjamin, what have you got coming up this week, sir? Or next week?
So the Where It All Started videos continue. So as you can see, featured here, Captain America and Iron Man. Those were this week's videos. Next week, I will have the Incredible Hulk and the Fantastic Four, reluctantly, because I hate Fantastic Four. So those go out on Tuesday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. They will be released for your viewing pleasure, hopefully. Then tomorrow evening at 9:30 BST, we will be appearing on copy, help me out, guys, 801?
Yep.
Okay. I'm not very good with numbers. We'll be appearing on his channel to have a chat about what we do every Thursday, and about collecting comics in the UK and how that differs from America. And then on Monday, I'm putting myself out this week. I'm like a YouTube dirty boy. On Monday, I will be appearing on Nick the Comic Nerds channel.
That'll be good.
Talk about my favourite subject matter myself. So please do tune into that.
That's great stuff. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit up Ben over on Instagram and YouTube at Attention Seeking Geek, because fantastic stuff as always. So thank you for that, Thomas.
Yo, well, I'm not convinced. We are doing our key show. Well, I say we. I'm doing the key show again, but you'll be back on Mondays rather than Tuesdays from now on. Hopefully, people might join me, so we might do it live. If they aren't available, I'll pre-record it, but it will be up on Monday, not on Tuesday/Wednesday as it was this week, but it will go up on Monday. And that's it. That's all I've got planned. And then obviously being on here with these beautiful people on a Thursday evening. Which is
Stop it. And I'm now over to the he must have known I was going to do him next, because he's the Oracle. It's Mr. Impromptu Perpetual Comics. That's a mouthful.
Listen, you guys know by now, I go on live on my YouTube channel whenever I have time. I don't have anything planned apart from this is the show that I'm on every single week on a Thursday, what I look forward to. I'm trying my best to get Sean and Comic Deal so we can do another Panels and Pints. And you may or may not see me on the third shift of Spinetix on Sunday morning over on Spinetix, and I think maybe Ben might be, if he gets up early enough, might be on there as well. But yeah, you can find me. I'm gonna self-promote here and put my link to my YouTube channel there. So it's in the chat. I'd love it if you went and sub me up. And I would also love if you went over to my Instagram, which is perpetual.comics. Thanks to Charlie, thanks to the boys, thanks to everybody in the chat. You've been great.
I was just laughing because previously on previous installments of the show, if you did click on the link to go to perpetual.comics, you would have ended up with perpetual.chioma. And it's a woman who's taking pictures of herself in a supermarket and outside by a bus stop and stuff like that. She's probably a lovely lady. She has subscribed to all of us. So hi, Perpetual Chioma. Thank you if you're joining. But yeah, we are all on copy 801's show tomorrow at 9:30 BST. I think it's 4:30 Eastern. So we're going to be talking about probably mad stuff, what we've been talking about on here. There we go, Perpetual Chioma. She is in the chat. She does slightly look like Andy though, so we'll have to take that with a pinch of salt. But yeah, we'll open copy 801's chat tomorrow. It's going to be fun times. It's the UK takeover. Why not? We do it now and often. I think Andy and Ben do it every Sunday morning on the fantastic Spinetix show that goes on for 24 hours sometimes. But yeah, Mondays, 12 p.m, top comic releases. Even on bank holidays and Christmas holidays, you're still going to get the stuff that you need. So I'm always here for you, Mr. Consistent. And every Thursday, 9 p.m, it's me, these three fantastic, gorgeous guys, giving you what you want, peaches galore, everything. That's it. Enjoy the sunshine. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. And we shall see you next week, guys. See you later.
See you.
See you.